My next guest is one of today's top action movie stars. I know I got it. They were bussed from a New Kids concert. That's what it is.
My mistake, wrong joke.
Talk about bad references. There's a new film he's in. It's called The Hitman. And let's not bring him out. Let's just talk, y'all. Let's just talk. Chuck Norris! Yes. Now, I got to watch this movie last night. Not only is your hair color different in it, but your whole image is different. You shoot people. You tell them about this guy.
Well, he's a guy that lives on the edge. You know, a guy whose life is in jeopardy every day because he's very, very deep cover. And the only thing that brings him out of this is his relationship with a young boy, and which a boy who is living in a black boy who's living in a middle-class neighborhood whose mother's working 3 jobs to keep him in this area. And my heart goes out to this boy. And when it does, of course, it makes him vulnerable to the situation that he's in. And in the movie, of course, that vulnerability winds up backfiring on him. But it's different, as you notice. The hair's a lot longer. And he is a guy who lives on the edge in the film.
You should have called it Chuck in the Hood.
Yeah, close.
What do you think your fans will say about this new kind of image thing?
Well, it is different. You know, the character I play is a character who's a lot more extreme, a lot darker character than I've ever played before. But
you mean that in an acting sense, you know?
In an acting sense,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But it's a lot darker side to his character, and it's something I haven't done before. You know, generally I have a situation and I take care of it and move on. In this one here, there's a lot. He's being stretched from one end to the other, and there's a lot more depth in his character in this film than I've had in a lot of films. Since Code of Silence, actually. I think Code of Silence was the first one that stretched me a lot, and this one here, I think, is the same way.
Yeah. There's a scene in there where you talked about bullies and running from danger and things like that when you were trying to help this kid.
Yeah, what happens is this boy is being harassed by the neighborhood bully, and his father is encouraging his son to beat up this little boy. And I wrote this scene. I wrote this particular scene in the script, and I was trying to think, what can I write to encourage this boy to handle this situation, you know, with this bully in the neighborhood. And I'm spending days trying to figure out, what can I say to a boy? And finally, I came up with the answer, and it was a situation that I, as a child, had encountered about his age. I went to a school in Arizona that was mostly Indians from the reservation. And there's this one Indian kid who just didn't like me, and every day he'd chase me home from school. And I'd have to run by this gas station. And this mechanic had watched me being chased by this Indian kid every day. And finally, he just couldn't handle it anymore, and he stopped me and made me face this boy. And I told him, I said, I told him I was scared, and he says, well, and what he said to me, which is still true, which I remember, is that he says, you know, that running from your fear is more painful than facing it. And that's something I've always remembered. And this is what I relate to this boy. And of course, eventually, he has to face this fear in the film.
We'll be right back with more Chuck Norris. Oh, boy.
What a great audience.
Yeah, I didn't get the Jeopardy crowd tonight. This is... This is House Party 3. Oh, stop it! Stop! Oh, boy. You know how hockey players lose teeth? You ever lose like a toe or something? What's the worst thing that ever happened to you fighting?
Well, I got all my teeth loosened. These are all capped because I got kicked in the face and loosened all my teeth, and these two turned dark, and I had to put caps in my teeth.
Yeah.
That was the worst. And then
What happened to the guy who kicked your teeth out?
I plant flowers every day at his door. No, I've had my shoulder broken and a few toes and stuff like that, but the kick in the face was the worst.
Yeah. Didn't somebody who actually did something and lived, the guy,
Oh, I mean...
your speech guy.
Oh, no, when I first got into films, you know, I knew nothing about acting. And I had like 4 months of acting classes from Estelle Harmon's on my GI Bill, and that ran out, so I had no money to take acting classes. And so I finally convinced a producer to do my first film, Good Guys Wear Black. And so they hired a tutor to tutor me for the 2 weeks prior to filming. His name was Jonathan Harris. He was the little professor in Lost in Space. I don't know if you remember him or not.
Oh, Will Robinson.
Right. So anyway, he's going to help me with my screenplay, my dialogue. And so he'd say, okay, say I'm going to the store. And I say, I'm going to the store. He says, no, 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 no. You're not going to the store. You're going to the store. I go, that's what I said. I'm going to the store. No, no, you're going. You got to put the G on the end. Mm-hmm. And for 2 weeks, all he's trying to do is teach me how to talk. And one day he grabs me by the mouth, goes, He says, open your mouth, you know, like that there. I said, Jonathan, you're the only man alive that could do that, you know. And he says, I know it, but...
I'm a talk show host, and I would have had to kill. And you do that to Will Robinson. Don't do that to me, man.
But...
Boy.
I haven't gotten any better since either. I still
Well,
go.
let's see if I can... Oh, no. I don't think so. The rat thing. What was the movie where... This might not even be real, but...
Oh, Missing in Action. Oh, I did a movie called Missing in Action 2 where I was a prisoner of war.
Right.
And there was a scene where I'm being tortured, and they're going to stick hang me up by my ankles and stick a rat in a sack and hang it over my head. And...
But it was a fake rat. Tell me it was a fake rat, please.
Well, no, it wasn't.
I hate rats, man.
I know, I do too. No, I was way down. I was in St. Kitts, Caribbean. And of course, being an actor, I assume all this is being taken care of. And the day we're going to do this particular scene, I walk on the set, and they got these rats in the cage. And I said, well, where's the fake rat I'm going to stick in my mouth? They go, I don't know, you know. And I go, well, what do you expect me to do? You expect me to stick a real one in my mouth? We said, well, we don't know. And so I said, well, so I had him kill one of the rats, and I put tape on the rat and tried to stick it in my mouth with the tape. That didn't work, you know. And all this is going on. Finally, they said, well, let's cancel the scene. I said, no, it's very important to the movie, because this is what happened to some prisoner of war, by the way, in Vietnam, is they were hung up, and this was one of the tortures. I said, it's got to be done. And they said, well, what are we going to do? So I got so frustrated that I said, hang me up. They hang me up. I grabbed the rat, stuck him in my mouth, and they put the rat sack over my head. Then I started swinging around like the rat was attacking my face. But all the time I had the rat in my mouth. They had this fake blood going down the rope that went into my mouth, and all this is going on. It was bad.
I agree with y'all. Let's do a house party movie. This kind of stuff. Yes.
I wouldn't do it anymore. I'd never do it again. I've learned since then. I would never do that again.
Oh, did you actually know Bruce Lee, or is that like public relations?
No, I knew Bruce. Bruce and I worked out together for about 3 years prior to him leaving for Hong Kong to pursue a movie career. In fact, I did a movie with him called Return of the Dragon, where we had this big fight scene in the Coliseum. Yeah, right. Yeah. But, you know, I go to Rome to fight in the Coliseum, and I go over there, and I'm my fighting weight, you know, about 170 is my fighting weight. And because I was still fighting, I was still the world champion then. And they said, well, you know, you and Bruce are not that much difference in size. You know, you're maybe 15 pounds heavier. Can you put on some weight? And I go, well, how? You know, and they said, well, eat or something. So I started eating hamburgers and drinking malts and all this stuff, and no rats. And this is before that. And so anyway, but I was working out every day, so I was burning the calories off. So I had to stop working out for 3 weeks and just eat, and I went up to about 186. But if you notice in the movie, I didn't do any jumping kicks. I couldn't get off the ground, you know. So, but, and you've noticed, if you see the movie, I'm a lot heavier in that.
But beyond the movie, you all were personal friends?
Yeah, we were.
Was he as amazing as he appears in film?
He was a training-aholic. You know, a guy trained all the time. When we used to work out together, we'd work out for 4 or 5 hours at a crack. He was really a hard trainer. And you know, he wasn't a kicker in those days. Wing Chun was not all the spinning kicks and all that, which I was known for. I was known for my kicking ability, and he was more known for his sticky hands and this stuff here. So we started exchanging techniques, because he didn't believe in kicking above the waist at that particular time. And I said, well, you know, you should be able to kick anywhere. You know, if you're open in the head, you should be able to kick the head. And so we started exchanging all these techniques, and of course, 6 months later, he could do it as well as anyone, with the spinning kicks and all that.
Wow. We're out of time, so let me say that the movie is not called Chuck in the Hood. It's called The Hitman.
Close, yeah, The Hitman.
The Hitman, it opens when?
Friday.
Okay, come back and see us soon,
You
man.
bet.
See Chuck Norris. Gary Barnett.